Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. My name is Mr. Dogboat333 and welcome to Hearts of Iron 4, Kaiserreich. Now, it's been a while since we've been played Kaiserreich. Can't quite tell you what the last time we played it was. Let me pull that up real quick. I believe it was... Well, I'll have the exact answer in a second, won't I? With Sardinia, that's right. We ended up playing Sardinia, and we had a little bit of an issue with it because saves got a little goofy, and but we ended up reuniting Egypt. We reunited Italy under the monarchy, and we pretty much did all we really needed to do in that game. But it's time to hop back into Kaiserreich. There's been a new update since Shattered Crescent. It adds content to both Turkey and Armenia. If the Ottoman Empire ends up collapsing. We'll probably witness that content, but not deliberately so much. Because we're going to be going and hopping in as one of the nations in the nearby vicinity. If I can find the flag somewhere along here. And I'll just select these guys and then click these guys here. The Sultanate of Egypt is who we're playing as today. We're in an interesting little position. We don't have the Sinai Peninsula. Looks like the Germans don't have control over Suez, which I probably changed some time ago, and I just never really noticed. And the Ottomans are just kind of right here at the border. We got this puppet over here, I think. These guys... obviously a threat, and then I think Jamal ends up being their puppet if they win. So we got some issues. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start the game. I'm not sure what we're doing as Egypt, honestly. I have no game plan going in. So we're just going to go ahead and give it a gander and figure it out. Based right in ancient Egypt rather than Islamic Egypt. That sounds pretty fun. But yeah. Well, we're back to streaming, boys. I'm joined by my beautiful Twitch chat as always, which if you want to see me record stuff like this live, you can go ahead and follow the Twitch channel, which is down in the description box below, to see whenever I go live, which probably be more often now. I was doing a theater show for the weekends, over the weekends, as well as I have school over the weekdays, typically. But thank you. But the show ended yesterday. It was very sad, but it was about time. Great show, went well, and I also had my car sort of break down. Not quite, but it was going to, so I had to drop it off at my mechanic. And now I'm waiting for some repairs to my poor car. So, while I'm waiting, might as well go ahead and get to work on recording some content. So we're going to get our usual tech start going. What do we want to do? Let's build some factories up in Cairo and Gerga, excuse me. Might be thinking of Giza, that's why I said that. We have some free dockyards, so we'll go ahead and get some convoys going. We can get the next generation of rifles, so we'll go ahead and do that. And, actually, I'll go back real quick. Get the artillery going, and then we'll get another factory going for our guns. No vision's basic training. I'm not too worried about that. Let's go ahead and get a field marshal. Who do we want? Let's go with Hussein Refki. And then generals. Let's go ahead and get... Let's get Muhammad Naguib. He's infantry leader, and he has the Desert Fox trait, so he seems to be pretty good for our purposes purposes all around. General Twitch chat are unbelievably handsome and based. Truly, Kev. Truly. And if you want to be undeniably handsome and based, go ahead and join and follow the Twitch chat right now. So let's check what we got. Where we start off social conservative, led by the Hizb al-Watani. Apologies in advance for butchering any Arabic pronunciations. I don't speak Arabic. I barely speak English sometimes, so you'll just have to bear with me. We're led by Fuad I. Fuad ascended to the Egyptian throne amidst the turmoil of the Weltkrieg and growing nationalism bolstered by the continued British defeats in Europe. When the British Revolution broke out, Egypt revolted in turn. Fuad co-opted the revolution, presenting himself as an ardent nationalist, and promulgated a system of government modeled on that of Germany. Fuad's subsequent social and economic reforms have raised questions in Egyptian society about the very identity of the Egyptian people and its place in a region still dominated by the hated Turk. Perhaps the seeds of progress sown by Fuad will lead to glory. Perhaps his successors may succeed where other rulers have failed and led Egypt to its rightful place as a shield and sword of an at last liberated Arab people. Beautiful. So I gotta figure out what we want to do. Well, what options do we have to begin? Anyway. We have no focuses we can do. That, I think that goes ahead and, tells us what we're doing focus-wise. I did not notice that. So yeah. Time to go ahead. Give this guy infantry expert eventually, but we gotta wait until we get command power, so we'll just wait for now. The history of modern Egypt conventionally begins in 1882, when Egypt joined the British sphere of influence, a situation that conflicted with Egypt's de jure position as a part of the Ottoman Empire. In 1914, the Protectorate was made official, and the title of head of state, which changed from Pasha to Khedive in 1867, will again change to Sultan. This formally repudiated the vestigial suzerainty of the Ottoman Sultan in Constantinople, who was backed by the Central Powers in the Weltkrieg. Abbas II was deposed by the British and replaced as Sultan by his uncle, Husayn Kamil. Upon his death in 1917, his only son, Prince Kamil Abdin Hussein, declined for succession, and Hussein Kamil's brother Ahmed Fuad ascended the throne as Fuad I. With the ratification of the Peace of Honor, Egypt remained a part of a now weakened British sphere. This would increase anger within the Egyptian populace that exploded in violence in 1925 during the collapse of the British Empire. This would become known as the Egyptian Revolution, where Fuad I proved his legitimacy by leading the people in the revolution. The revolution was largely nationalistic in nature, uniting Egyptians of all social classes, faiths, and occupations together to rid Egypt of the British once and for all. In the chaos of revolution, an international coalition, primarily led by Britain and Germany, seized the Suez Canal, which Egypt was forced to accept in order to avoid an open conflict with the former Central Powers. Since the revolution, there's been a conflict between liberals that seek to go further and make the monarchy a true constitutional monarchy, and conservatives that wish to keep the status quo. Moreover, as 1936 arrives, the Sultan's eyes go increasingly upon the young Farouk, the heir of the throne, who is being groomed to the throne. With the decline of the Ottoman Empire, members of all political parties have begun to draft plans for restoration of a mighty Egypt and dreaming of an Ottoman-free Middle East. We shall be the masters of our own destiny. Beautiful. Do these guys have a focus tree now? They kind of do, actually. Okay. Nice. Okay, interesting. I know Turkey's going to have a focus tree once we end up kicking their ass. But that'll come in time. When the Egyptian Revolution of 1925 happened, questions of identity emerged. What does it mean to be Egyptian? When was Egypt great? It was the first time in centuries that the Egyptians were truly free and independent, so we were finally able to address these questions properly. Since then, two concepts of what it meant to be the Egyptian have formed. Looking back on the past with romanticism, although they each look at radically different periods of time. The first camp is known as Pharaonism. They look to the pre-Islamic past, of great days of the pharaohs, for a time when Egypt was truly great and powerful. They argue that Egypt is a Mediterranean civilization, stress the role of the Mediterranean Sea within Egyptian culture, though they do not neglect the Nile. Largely, it aligns with liberal parties, though strictly speaking, it is not liberal, and even some of the Watani support it. It is by far the most influential form of identity in Egypt in 1936. The second cultural movement is the Islamist movement, which arose as a counter to the more mainstream Pharaohism. They believe in the period in which Egypt was most great was the era of the Fatimid Caliphate and the Ayyubid dynasty. Instead of the pharaohs, whom they decry as pagans and absolute tyrants, they look back to a time when Egypt was the center of the Islamic world, when a multi-ethnic and tolerant Egypt was the dominant Islamic power. This cultural movement is more of a conservative counter to the more mainstream Pharaohism. It's largely tied to conservative movements, particularly the Ittihad Party. It should be noted that both camps support a multi-ethnic Egypt. Both Pharaohism and Islamists believe that Egypt has always been a multi-ethnic state. Both concepts are largely romantic nationalist in nature and have an impact upon culture and the arts. We are all Egyptians. Interesting. Interesting indeed. I don't know if I was talking about this. I talked about this a little bit on the stream, but I don't know how much if I brought it up on the YouTube video. But I'm taking an Arab Islamic history class right now at my college, and we learned a bit about the Fatimids, but we're mainly focused on the Ottoman Empire. And I got to say that this area of the world fucking fascinates me, especially now that I've taken the class. So I felt a little push to do this. I also started this series upon recommendation of one of the fellows in my Discord, a gentleman by the name of Rain with 2 N's. So if you're watching this, shout out to you, buddy. Thanks for the suggestion. Anyway, Ash-Shams founded. Today, the Jewish journalist Saeed Malki founded the newspaper Ash-Shams to support the ideas of Egyptian nationalism. Particularly, the newspaper is attracted attention for its calls for Egypt to take control of Jerusalem and the Jewish Holy Land. Interesting. Interesting indeed. There goes Black Monday. So, was war in Afghanistan. Well, today, the economic crisis that has been gripping Germany has finally wrapped her tendrils around our proverbial neck. After a rather forceful departure from the British sphere, much of the foreign capital within our nation has come from Germany and her economic sphere. Now, with the situation of those foreign investors becoming increasingly unclear, our largely export-based economy is starting to crack under the pressure. The agricultural sector, particularly the cotton sector, was hit rather hard. The people are begging their representatives within the royal diet, as well as the Sultan, to do anything they can to resolve the crisis. May God save us. Well, this opens up our focuses, so we can begin Black Monday recovery, it looks like. Interesting. So this we got started at 38. This we gotta wait for Farouk to begin his reforms, whenever that is. Let us begin the Black Monday recovery. While Black Mondays hit our relatively small manufacturing sector hard, the biggest harm has been the fall in exports, particularly that of cotton. A rigorous program of support for agriculture, the financial sector, and industrial assets should begin as soon as possible. Well, there we go. What? I noticed Kaiserreich options. I want to check this out. Okay, so this is where we get the regional name. So there we go. There we go. End of an era. Chinky Gemini shatters. These guys are starting to fall apart. Restoration of democracy in Australasia. Interesting. Something happening in Mexico. Is that the military path? Let's say it was. It was, yeah. Oh. Tibet has gone red. There we go. We can do some stuff with this, right. Let's go ahead and get Yusuf Sadiq. Get our Black Monday reforms. Now we're going to go ahead and, let's secure the cotton fields. Cotton has a long history in Egypt, and one of the crops most vital to our export economy. By taking unprofitable plantations in state ownership and consolidating them, we can shore up the industry as well as supporting our farmers and landowners. Fun fact about Egypt, ancient Egyptian had no vowels. This language entirely made up of consonants. That is a fun-ass fact, Kev. Thank you for that. Because our team didn't have old Lizzie's success for Albert I. Isn't it a little beyond the time frame, I want to say? So, not too surprising? I don't know. Republican reforms in Iran. Okay. Interesting. Oh! When it rains, huh? Shit. Today, tragic news hits the Sultanate, as Sultan Fuad has died. As a nation is in mourning, the throne passes to 16-year-old Farouk. While he's enjoyed the proper education of a sultan-to-be, few have concrete ideas of how he will govern. The Sultan is dead. Long live the Sultan. Now here we go, Farouk the First, who does not have a description. Oh, we should look at this, I forgot to. So we have an agrarian economy. The economy of Egypt is rather underdeveloped and largely agrarian in nature. Though some industrialization has begun, it is yet to truly affect the country. Major reforms are needed to get over this hurdle. Next, we have an illiterate populace. The vast majority of Egypt's rural populace is illiterate. In order to rectify this hurdle, a program of education reform must be undertaken. After this, we have an inexperienced military. The Egyptian officer corps is rather inexperienced, as the British and Ottomans wish to make sure they did not grow too powerful. Many are still used to ways of fighting from before the Weltkrieg, which is hampering the army. If we are going to make Egypt a modern country, we shall need to do some proper reforms of the army. Then we have the landowning elites. The vast majority of Egypt's lands belong to the landowning elite and nobles, with less than 6% of Egypt's populace owning about 65% of her land. In quite a number of these estates, the conditions are likened to that of the Ikta system of old. Ooh. Then we have Black Monday, which you all know by now. Never going to be good. We're never going to get a good Black Monday event. Let's get more mechanical computing. Get the research time as high as we can. Not much different. True. Let's go ahead and get some cotton subsidies. The success of our purchase of cotton plantations has been apparent. Now that we've cushioned the impact of Black Monday on the sector, we should institute a minimum price for cotton while simultaneously allowing the states to pass back into private hands, hopefully ensuring us against another crash. Someone Molly make the Anakin joke. It's in the it's the title of the stream. So I'm gonna say that's a yes. Revolutionaries are taking Mongolia. Okay. You have the MAN, a friend of the channel. I think we want these guys when we play them. Mongolia. Sveno Coop. Stuff happened in Bulgaria that I just do not understand. But I'm sure it's important. Let's go ahead and secure our holdings. Not since the 1907 crash has the Egyptian stock market taken such a beating, but the fallout of Black Monday is immense, but also opens up opportunities for us if we can manage matters correctly. For now, we will close the Cairo and Alexandria stock exchanges in order to carry out some emergency restructurings. A little extra stability. Can't hurt. As much as I hate Lithuania, I do have a soft spot for Bulgaria. It's not bad. It's not bad. Lithuania is a little too thick for his own good. Could get another one of these guys in. I don't know if I really want them. I'll hold on for now. More production. Go ahead and do construction. More of this. Follow the Kingdom of Finland. No Mannerheim, so that's a little cringy. But what are you gonna do? Secure holdings. Next, we're going to go ahead and protect the industry. Protecting Egypt's small and fragile industrial base is a task best undertaken without too much foreign competition. With the introduction of tariffs and inducements, to buy Egyptian, we can show our support to our industrials and aid them in weathering the economic storm. The way it looks like when you try to take a slice of pizza that wasn't sliced properly, starts steals with toppings from the other. Oh. Oh God, you're right. And also, I'm hungry for pizza, so you're making me hungry, Kev. God damn it. I'd probably stop with streaming into pizza right now if I had my car, but I can't, so that's okay. Poland elects a new king. Had the Polish shit, okay. Protecting the industry. Let's go ahead and reopen the stock exchange before we end the video. Allowing the Alexandria and Cairo stock exchanges to remain closed any longer would be a mistake. The longer we keep one of Africa and the Middle East's most active stock market it's closed, the more risk its position as a hub of trading. Reopening the market will show our confidence in the emergency reforms we have pushed through, as well as allowing the recovery to begin. There we go. So, I'm going to go ahead and cut it here, ladies and gentlemen. So, thank you as always for watching, ladies and gentlemen. If you like this video, leave a like. If not, feel free to dislike. If you want to see more of this content in the future, hit the sub button for uploads weekdays as well as occasionally Saturdays. If you have any comments, feedback, concern, go and leave in the comment section below. I read all the comments again. Appreciate any and all feedback you might have for me. You can check out my various links, including the Twitch, which is most pertinent, down in the description box below. But yeah, that's really about it for now, folks. My name has been Mr. Dogboat333. I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.